Okay, so the first things we're going to try is the lifting effect and the lowering effect of the book that I'm currently reading. So let's try, see what happens. Easy, Mama Bear. Let's do lifting. Good girl. Every little bit helps. Gonna lift one more time. Good girl. Good girl. And of course what we do on one side, we have to do on the other. Good girl. Definitely a more sensitive here on the left. Let's try it again. Good girl. Alright. Now let's try the lowering. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Alright. It's kind of tricky doing this with camera in hand, whip in hand, and everything. Alright. Lowering. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Alrighty. What we do on one side, we have to do on the other. Good girl. Good girl. Alright, trying to go down a little further. Good girl. Good girl. She gets immediate relief. Going down a little further. Good girl. Good girl. Yes, you did good. Yes, you did. Lowering again. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. I'm going to let her sniff the ground because I don't want her to think that, you know, she can't do that or that it's the wrong thing to do. I definitely want her head down. So let's try it again. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Yes, you just learned something new, didn't you? Good girl. Yes, you're so smart. Alright. Try this again on the other side. I gotta make sure I pull the reins with me. Alright, left side. Holding onto the bit. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Yes. Alright. Let's go down a little further. Good girl. Alright. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. See how nice and low her head is now? Good girl. I want it lower. Good girl. Good girl. Every little bit helps, so here she goes. She volunteers to sniff my boots. Good girl. girl. Yes. Good girl. Nice. Good girl. And basically all I'm doing is imitating this feeling. Because I have her trained that when I push this down, her head goes down on her pole. Good girl. Good girl. So what she does, she now realizes that, and remind you, I am not pulling by the bit. What I'm doing is I'm holding on to the bit, but I'm also pulling up here on the pole, okay? I'm holding on to the bit, and I'm pulling on the pole. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Holding on to the bit, pulling on the pole. Good girl. Good girl. So she's very good on the left. Good girl. Yes, you are. Hi. So let's try this on the right one more time. I think that Xena is better. At least I get the feeling that she's more at ease and better with things on the left than she is on the right. She has very little work done to her on the right, but since I have two horses here, a right one and a left one, we just work both of them. So here we go. Good girl. Good girl, yes. See, she gave a little bit, so I'm releasing the pressure. Let her think about it. She's chewing. That's a good thing. Good girl. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I'm sorry, I know this video is really sucky because I'm so daggone close here. But, just trying to give you an idea of pressure down. All I'm doing is pulling on the pole. No, Mama, that's the wrong answer. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. And let them get the wrong answer because they're not going to get it right all the time. You know what I mean? Good girl. So in the beginning, you don't want her head to or your horse's head, or his head, her head, whatever. You don't want it to drop completely down. You just want every little bit, you release the pressure, because that's what she's doing. She's giving to the pressure on the pole. Right? Good girl. Good girl. Yes. So, again, I'm holding this here, like this, with these fingers. And what I'm doing, I'm putting my thumb onto the top. That makes it easier for me to pull down on the pole. So, good girl. Good girl. And see, at first I had to sit there and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait because she's trying to figure out the answer. But I got me a smart little cookie over here who's figuring this out pretty daggone quick. That, oh, if I feel this pressure up here, up there on the pole, that means lower. Oh, well, I spoke too soon. Okay, now I have a lot of pressure on her pole. Good girl. She gave a little bit, so I release. Good girl. See, she's chewing. That's a good sign. That means she's processing. What just happened? Good girl. Good girl. Yes, yes, that's what I want. I want your head down. So I'm going to keep practicing this, and I hope this helps you, Karen. Bye.